Good morning, students. I'm here again with lesson number 1, solid state, 12th chemistry, and let us today discuss about the topic defects in solids. Students, we are all knowing that in solids the constituent particles are arranged very regularly. Till now we have studied that, right? But it is said that although these solids where arrangement of constituent particles are seen to be regular in short range or long range ordered manner, but still the crystals are supposed to be not very perfect. There is something referred to as defects in them, and maybe this is happening when crystallization process is occurring very fast or at a moderate rate. Okay, so even the crystals are not free from the defects, it can be said like this. So finally, what do you understand from the word defects? So defects are nothing but basically the irregularities in the arrangement of the constituent particles. So how do I define defects for you? Is nothing but irregularities in the arrangement of constituent particles. Okay, students. Now, these defects, broadly if we speak, are of two types. One is point defect and another is the line defect. So, first is the point defect and second is the line defect. Let us not discuss about the line defect as it is not there much in the syllabus. But then let me make you understand what do you mean by the word point defect and the line defect. Actually, in point defects it is said that the irregularities or the deviations which you are able to see from the ideal arrangement around a point or an atom in a crystal substance is seen. For example, suppose you are having the crystal where the atoms are arranged like this regularly, you will see that at this particular point around, maybe that this atom is missing or it is dislocating itself from this place to somewhere else in the crystal. This leads to something called as point defect. But it may so happen that within the same type of crystal, a complete line of the particles is moved out. So maybe that this particular complete line of particles is moving out, then it is referred to as line defect. But then this line defect is not there in the syllabus. For you for 12th, let us talk and focus on point defects only. So in point defects, you have three types of point defects to be discussed. First is your stoichiometric defect. Second is your non-stoichiometric defect. Non-stoichiometric defect. And third is your impurity defect. Impurity defect. Now in this video, I will focus on to the discussion of this stoichiometric defect. Okay, so further if you look, the stoichiometric defect will be further classified, but let me tell you what do you mean by stoichiometric defect. Students, here in this note, and this is a type of point defect as I already told you. Here the stoichiometry of the solid is not changed. Suppose if it is AB2 for a particular crystal, the arrangement of the particles is said to be like AB2 AB2, then you will see that the stoichiometry is not disturbed. So stoichiometric defects are otherwise also referred by intrinsic or thermodynamic defects. Thermodynamic defect. These are the other two names for your stoichiometric defects. Okay. let us talk about further this classification of stoichiometric defects. Now in stoichiometric defects you have first two types of defects. Let me talk. First is your vacancy defect. The second one is your interstitial defect. Interstitial defect. And third and fourth are very important, namely Frankel defect and your Schottky defect. Let me discuss now these four types one by one. Now students, in your vacancy defect you will see that in the crystal, suppose, which is like this, and the constituent particles are arranged like this, you can see that I have left these spaces. So actually there is vacancy. There is no particle present in this. So when some of the lattice sites are vacant, you say that the crystal is having the vacancy defect. Now in this case, your density, obviously you know, will be decreasing, okay, because the particles are missing. Okay, now this type of defect can be obtained when a substance or the solid is heated. So this was about your vacancy defect. Now let me talk about your interstitial defect. Now in interstitial defect you will see that the constituent particles, that is atoms or molecules, will be occupying the interstitial site. Suppose if here are the particles, then you will see that these spaces which are left are referred to as the interstitial places or the interstitial spaces, and it is these particles leave their space, occupy this particular interstitial spaces. Interstitial spaces are nothing but the voids left over or the space left over not occupied by the atoms. So in this case, what can you say about the density? You will say that the density in this case is increasing. So density here increases. Okay students. Now actually what I have been explaining you here till right now was vacancy defect and interstitial defect. It is said that this can be shown by, both of these can be shown by your non-ionic solids only. So let me show something like this, that these two are shown by non-ionic solids. Okay, why I am writing like this is because I will be showing you next about the Frankel defect and the Schottky defect, where I'll say that in this case ionic solids will be showing you this Frankel defect and Schottky defect. Here electrical neutrality is supposed to be maintained, and from exam point of view this Frankel defect and Schottky defect are very important to be discussed. Okay, so let us proceed further with the discussion of your Frankel defect and Schottky defect. I will discuss both of these simultaneously. Okay students, so now to discuss about the Frankel defect, I would like to tell you that suppose if this is particular arrangement of the constituent particles, where you will see negative, then positive, then negative and positive ions arranged in this particular manner. So you will see that in this case, in case of Frankel defect, one of these ions actually tries to leave its space and occupies the interstitial space. It actually is the smaller ion dislocates from its normal site to an interstitial site. It creates a vacancy defect at its original site and an interstitial defect at its new space. So if I keep on showing you like this, I would like to show you at this particular regular arrangement. If kept on doing like this, you will see that in this particular space one of your cation would be moving, and here I am leaving a space for the cation. Okay, so it is this space which was left vacant, and from here the particular cation has moved to the interstitial site. So that is something referred to as your Frankel defect. So what can I talk about this Frankel defect? It is due to missing of ions. It is due to missing of ions, and when I am calling ions, it is usually the cation. Why usually cation? Because cations are smaller in size, so they leave their space from the lattice side and these occupy the interstitial sites. So that is what is happening in your Frankel defect. Now if I wish to discuss for this defect the density, you can see that as such there will be no effect on the density because the ion is moving from one place to the interstitial space. So no effect I can write on the density in this context. Okay, now same thing, let me try to explain you here for your Schottky defect. Now in Schottky defect, it is said that it is basically a defect, vacancy type of defect in ionic solids where we need to maintain electrical neutrality. So the missing cations and anions are usually equal. So missing cation and anion would be equal in number. So let me show the space like this again, where I am showing you here again minus plus, that is cation anion, where I would like to show you at this space where anion is missing out of its place. Okay, so here it is anion, here again it is cation, anion, and let me show again here that this space is vacant. So here this is actually the space for your cation and this is for anion. So they are missing. Okay, this is space for cation. Then you again have anion, cation, anion, cation, anion, cation, anion, and then cation. This arrangement keeps on seeing like this. So here a pair of cation and anion is missing and electrical neutrality is maintained. So here you can write in this case it is due to equal number of cations and equal number of cations and anions missing from the lattice, missing from lattice sites. Now when they are missing, it is quite obviously the density here decreases. So these were very two important points. Let me proceed further with two more or three more points related to this particular part. So the third point which I would like to discuss about this is, you can see that the Frankel defect usually occurs in the crystals where low coordination number is observed. So coordination number here would be low. What do I mean by saying coordination number here is low? Coordination number here means the size of cation and anion, the difference in size of cation and anion is more. Cation and anion is very large. Okay, and there are various examples which are showing this. For example, Frankel defect showing are ZNS, you have AgCl, you have AgBr, you have so many other examples like this. Now these same points, if I wish to discuss for your Schottky defect, I'll definitely say that in Schottky defect the coordination number is high. Now when I say that coordination number is high, it means that the difference in the size of the cation and anion is not much large. So similar size cations and anions are there. So similar size cations and anions are there. Students, what do I mean by saying similar size? Let me just explain you here this particular part. Suppose if the cation is so size, your anion will be of so size, the same size I mean to say. So you can see that in this case the coordination number is large. But suppose there is variation in the size. One cation is smaller, then anion is larger, that is difference in the size is more, then coordination number is low. So in this case coordination number is low, and in this case coordination number is high. I hope by this particular figure you are able to understand these points. Now talking about the examples of this particular Schottky defect, you can see that NaCl is there, KCl is there, CaCl is there. All these are supposed to show you this examples of this defect. Now very important here is that AgBr shows both the types of defect, Frankel as well as Schottky defect. So this you keep in mind, it's a very important one. AgBr shows Frankel and Schottky, both the defects. So students, this was all about your Schottky defect, stoichiometric defects, which I was discussing under the point defects. In my next video, I would like to discuss about non-stoichiometric defects and the impurity defects further. Hope you understood the topic of stoichiometric defects, which is very important from exam point of view, especially this particular difference of Frankel and Schottky, which is as and when asked in the exam. I hope you like the video. Thank you all. Have a nice day.